Okay, I am going to show you guys how to start your altar. These are the boxes that I'm providing you guys. It doesn't really matter which way you use it. I already have started this one, but I'm going to do it from scratch on this. So we have some materials like these packing stuff. This is just foam from, I believe, some kind of iPad delivery or computer delivery. So this is the ultimate recycling of materials in art. So you can use scissors to cut this. You don't have to use a sharp blade. Even the thick stuff is scissorable. You kind of have to put a little extra in there, but you can get it. So, all right, I am cutting out 3 tiers because 3 tiers is the traditional structure of a Mexican Dia de los Muertos altar. So I'm going to do this one a little bit bigger than that one. I'm going to put this here. I might put that there. Maybe keep that there. Okay, and then what I'll probably do with this one is just cut it down a little bit smaller so it's a little smaller, but I definitely want to keep a little shelf on there because we are supposed to be putting things on top of these. So I am going to use masking tape to apply this. This is how I applied them here. And this makes a lot more sense to apply your to apply the foam with masking tape and not to really worry about wet glue until you're ready to do the paper mache. And I'm going to show you guys that. All right, so I make sure it's secure onto here, and then I'll run it here to where it's flat. Make sure it's in a good position. And then I'm going to take my finger with my fingernail and kind of just try to make that a right angle crevice. Okay, and so that's how I am sticking this stuff on. And I want to have some kind of backboard here. So I think I'm going to also be gluing or taping down something on this back area. So I'll show you guys how to do that too. All right, so we just glue the sides down. Now, you want to glue the side or tape the sides down, and you want to make sure that it's kind of at like a right angle so that whenever you go to do your paper mache on top of it, you don't have this big gap right here. And you can see it doesn't really take a whole lot of tape to make sure that this thing stays on. So that's that, and I will probably continue to put this up. And then I also want to use some cardboard and put it on the back. But I think what I'm going to do right now is just show you guys how to do the paper mache part. So I'm going to start paper macheing this one. And you have 2 options with paper. You can either use, this is newsprint paper, which is really thin. This is what they print newsprint on. And then this is the craft paper, like butcher paper. And you could use either. It doesn't really matter, and I'll do both to show you. All right, you're gonna need a styrofoam plate or something like this. You're gonna need some liquid glue and a little bit of water. So I'm gonna make quite a bit of this because I plan on covering this whole thing up. So I will put the lid back on this. All right. So let's start off with the craft paper. I am going to put a little bit of a little bit of water in here. The reason why I'm putting water is because if I use this right here, this is so thick, it would take me forever to put it on. And I don't really want it that thick. I just want a thin layer. And so what I can do is apply the watered down glue a little bit to the surface that I'm going to cover. And make sure you get it really saturated, because you can't go back and put stuff underneath this. Really should take your time doing paper mache, because you can tell if you rush it, it's not going to look so good. All right, so now I've just put that down, and I'm going to paint on top of it because I want the paper to get really saturated with glue and moisture so that it'll fully form around this object. So I'm going to leave that like that. You can fold it over like a Christmas present. And if you need some thicker stuff, go for it. So that's going to make it stay down. Okay, so let me add some more. You don't really want to do really huge amounts of paper at a time. You just want to do small little strips like that. Because you're not really, it's not a race, and remember, we just want to make sure that if we take our time and carefully do each step, then we can ensure that the quality of our piece is going to be top notch when we're done. And that's kind of the point. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. I might even sneak it up a little bit and then apply that there. Okay, so what do you do with these things here? I'm just going to cut that and just lay it down. I'm going to cut this and then lay it down there. If I want, I can even cut this part off and just say, okay, I'm not ready to do that side, so it's not looking so good. I'm just going to cut it off and make sure that this is on. Nice. Okay. So this process will repeat itself over and over, where we're applying glue to a surface. I'll do it with newsprint. I'm going to teach you guys something called paper grain. This is paper. Paper has grain, which means it has a grain of running string or fibers going all in one direction, and either they're going this direction or that direction. You can tell where the grain is because the paper will always follow the grain. So if I try to tear this paper like this, it will naturally want to go towards the grain. It actually naturally curves down to that. So now I know that this is the grain of the paper, so if I start tearing strips, I know they're going to be pretty even. So that's when we just take this, get all this gook out of here. I'll reuse that. All right. And then I'll apply this here. Put some paint down or glue. Okay. So this is paper macheing or decoupaging, you can call it. Just making sure something is covered and uniformly sealed. So it's either using like an acrylic polymer, so a clear acrylic, or glue, and glue dries clear. So Okay, so applying that last layer of glue or polymer on top of the paper is what actually makes it stay sealed together, and will give you a nice smooth texture or a nice smooth surface to paint. So, okay, that is that. This is how we cover this up. I'm gonna put this on time lapse and just go to town. I'm gonna do another video showing you guys how to do the paper flowers again. Okay, great.